Okay, we got greetings and introductions. We have Angie or Brittany. Oh, Brittany's coming. Hey, Brittany.
All right, so we have Eric Silvers from downtown. Welcome. And John Cooper from downtown. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Did we have any other guests that we missed? Okay. And then we have those famous birthdays of the Southwest Rotary Club. We have all of the birthdays for the month. So it looks like we have a few people playing hooky because they know their birthdays are coming up. So we have Mike and Steve and Dan and Tap. And then later in the month we have Chris and our favorite Lisa coming up, and Tony and Tom. So lots of fun birthdays for the month. Thank you. And then here's our member anniversaries. Steve's busy this month. It's also Steve's 33 years of Rotary. We have Dave at 36. Curtis is at 39. And then we have Elliot at 2. It's already been 2 years, Elliot. And Josh has hit 3. So yay, congratulations. Time goes by quickly when you're having fun. So obviously this is still the same list of all the fun things that we have coming up. Just so you know, our first social of the year is next week, and we already have 64 people that have signed up. Wow, it's like going to be a really fun first social of the year. So Lizzie and Tony just wanted everybody to know if anybody else still wants to sign up, just to go ahead and let them know so that we can get some more food. And then we have all those other big events that are coming up. And as always, the big auction is April the 13th. There is going to be quite a bit of stuff happening in September and also in October. I will talk to you about the Sun Fair Parade at our next meeting. For those of you that may not have a Rotary shirt yet, we need to get those ordered if you want to march in the parade. And also that same day, we're going to be at the STEM booth at the fair. So lots of fun things happening, and we'll talk more at the next meeting about those events. So today we had our second board meeting. 10 to go. Okay, so here we go. So we have already had an exciting announcement. Dave Kirby has been approved as a transfer to our club. He was a former member of the Boise Southwest, so he knows cool clubs, and he was a former member of Yakima Downtown. So Dave Kirby will be joining our club. And we have our first announcement for Ron Rockstrom. So if anybody has any concerns, please let me know. If not, there will be second announcements at the next meeting. And then also, I just wanted to congratulate, Liberty's unfortunately not able to be here today, but we did vote Liberty McLean on as a new board member. Unfortunately, Raul is having to be out of town all week, and so doing the board has been a little bit much. He still is going to stay as an active member of the club, but doing the board is a little bit challenging. So Liberty is graciously going to take Raul's place on the board. Whoops, oh good. So another thing that we did today is we had the board approve 2 shelter boxes. They're $1,000 each, and they will serve up to 10 families. So for those of you that don't know, and I'm actually going to have our district governor also talk a little bit more in her speech about this, but what they are is if there is a natural disaster in a community across the world, we can have the shelter boxes can be brought into those communities immediately for places for people to be in shelter. There, inside those shelter boxes, there are all sorts of things that people need, bedding and like cooking utensils and things like that, so that ways to have clean water, all these things that are needed when you have lost everything. We did this last year. I think we bought 2 shelter boxes last year, and we decided that we wanted to purchase another 2 this year. There's some information on your tables if you would like to learn more about these. You can see that Vanna's up there in the the first corner there. It looks like I'm buying a house or something. I'm going through the tag there. But Joe and I were actually able to see these when we were in Australia. So I was really excited to be able to bring this to the board today, and the board graciously approved us purchasing 2 of these for some of our world services work that we're going to do. What the shelter boxes have informed us of is because there's been so many natural disasters that they're actually in low supplies. So with that, today, when I was at the board, I don't think the rest of the board knew this, but our assistant governor was putting a challenge towards me. So I need my Southwest Rotary members to step up, because this is also a very passionate part of Rotary that our district governor is involved in. So what I'm asking right now is if I can have 2 members of the Sergeant of Arms stand up. I just need 2 members. That's 1, that's 2. Okay, 3, thank you. Because I'm looking to raise $1,000 right now to get us 1 more box. And if you can't give cash right now, we can let Christine know that you have a donation. So, is anybody willing to give me $100? Taylor, Dirk, Josh. Oh, not Taylor. Sorry. I was so excited. Ryan. I was so excited. Okay, raise it again, Ryan. Josh, I saw Josh. Jean, okay, 1, 2. Do you guys have these down? Are you getting them down? Christine? Tony got 1. Josh got 1. Yeah, or I'm going to make you have 3. Corday has 1. Bill has 1. Oh, we got 2 more. Oh my gosh, we're going to get more. Can you see them? Yay. We got Bruce 1. Jim. Yeah. Yep. Okay, we get everybody? How, Christine, do you want to label? You want?
Taylor, Tony, Brian, Josh, Jean, Bill, Craig, Jean, and Corday.
That's it. Did I get everybody? Bill? Did you get Bill? Yep. Dave? Did we get everybody? Did we miss anybody? Did you get Jim and Bruce? Okay, I thought she got you. And put 1 down for Joe. And put 1 down for Hank. Huh? Oh, if any, okay. Okay, now we did 100. Anybody want to do 50? Can we get 2? Oh my gosh, there we go. Okay. You said? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. That's the best thing.
Dirk, Steph, Rick, Joanne, Matt, Kathy, Frank, Elliot, Mark, Angie, and Tom.
Do we get anybody else? Do we get it? Okay. Can you see how much we got there? To see if we need to have somebody else? I want to get, see if we get 2 more. Put me down for 200, and I need 1 more $100. Okay. Okay, I think we got it. Oh. Hank. Oh, just a second. Oh. Okay. Do we get it? Do we get 2? Yay, we got 2. Thank you, everybody. So we are not having any sergeant at arms this meeting.
Does that mean downtown's gonna do fine?
I don't know. We're gonna have to. I am gonna have dinner with the other 2 ladies tonight, so maybe I'll put a challenge up to them.
No pressure, Karen.
Okay, so tonight I am. We're not doing those. Keep them for next time. Just keep them for next time. Okay. Do you want to do it? Okay. If anybody. Okay. Did anybody buy raffles besides Bill? Oh. Okay.
So the last 4 are 5979.
You're good, Bill. Thank you. Now, if you get the Queen of Hearts, it's really gonna. Oh. So they're trying to get the Queen of Hearts in our. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Bill, for keeping me on task. That's one thing this group keeps me on task. Okay. So with that, so today. So today I have the privilege of introducing Eric Silvers, who is from Yakima downtown and is our assistant governor and is going to introduce our speaker today.
Okay, greetings, Rotarians and guests. I'm your assistant district governor for Area 10, which is Yakima and Ellensburg and Upper Kittitas. So those are the clubs that I'm responsible for watching to be able to assist them in anything that they're doing and report back to the district. Today I have the honor to be able to introduce Marjolein, who is our district governor, and we're really glad to be able to have her here. She was the president of the West Bank Rotary Club of District 5060 in 2009 and 2010. She joined the Kelowna Sunrise in 2017. She was born in Marisfort. Did I say it right? Okay, all right. Netherlands. And she immigrated to Canada with her parents and 3 older brothers as a young child, toddler. She landed in Montreal. The family took and loaded up into a motorhome and traveled across country to be able to be over here in the British Columbia. And she graduated from Pitt Meadows Secondary. She was the top of her class, by the way, and she immediately pursued her degree over at Simon Fraser. She met and married her sweetheart, yes, and she from the Okanagan Valley, and then they also became franchise owners of the Little Caesars. And by the way, they grew that business to have 13 of them in the BC area. She also worked as a travel consultant for many years so that way she could be able to be at home. She has a lot of experience in Rotary, besides being a club president, district level and the zone level, but she's had many roles as club president, assistant governor, like what I am, and also the chair of the district strategic, also the ShelterBox, which I'm sure you'll hear a little bit more. And by the way, I'm very proud of you guys for raising that much to be able to do that. Your club is fantastic. She's also worked on their assistant public image, as well as she's been a facilitator, which is where her love is, being a facilitator for not only pets, but also for RLI and also multi-year planning. She had multiple years of being a Paul Harris Fellows and recognized by her club for the community awards. I took her for a tour around Yakima so she could see some of the things, but we kind of ran out of time, so we're going to have to continue it next week. She is married. She has 2 sons, 1 stepdaughter, 1 son-in-law, a grandson, and she loves to be able to do things with Rotary. And by the way, she is a marriage commissioner for the Central Okanagan, and so she performs about 150 weddings every year. She enjoys hiking, swimming, camping, sewing, reading. Rotarians and guests, please welcome our district governor, Marjolein Lloyd.
Wow, I haven't said anything yet. Are you sure you want to stand up? That was amazing. Thank you very much, first of all, for having me. I'd like to recognize past Governor Hank Heffernan as well. Thank you for being here. I have a book to read, apparently. I saw the book that he wrote, so I need to read the book. So, and welcome past Assistant Governor John Cooper as well. Thank you again for the welcome and for the bio, Eric. I just want to kind of circle back to the ShelterBox because that was quite amazing. So some of you may know I've traveled the district quite extensively with ShelterBox, mostly on the Canadian side because I tried to bring the ShelterBox over the border and they took my axe away. Apparently you can't bring an axe over the border. I've had one in my motorhome for I don't know how long, but they took my axe. So anyway. But I've been an ambassador for ShelterBox Canada since 2008, so it's something that it's really a passion project for myself. I've gone to a lot of clubs and done talks about ShelterBox. I've set up the tent too many times to count. It's been set up at lobster fests and at churches and on pool decks and on the backs of trucks for parades. So it's quite something to see that your club has raised enough for multiple shelter boxes. That makes me very happy. So thank you on behalf of ShelterBox International. Thank you very much for that. So it's really an honor and a pleasure to come and visit the club. This is the easiest part, and Hank will probably tell you the same thing. This is the easiest part of the job as district governor. It's the funnest part of the job. It's also the most exhausting, as I've learned. So this week and last week were the first weeks where I did full weeks of club visits, and holy smokes, that's a lot. But it's really quite amazing, and it's the first opportunity that you get to see Rotary outside of your own Rotary bubble. There's a life outside of your own club and even outside of your own community, and this is really the best way to see it. So if you haven't gone to other Rotary meetings outside of Yakima or outside of the state, I really encourage you to do that. Those of you that like to cruise, is there anyone that goes on cruises? You can go to a Rotary meeting on a cruise ship. Did you know this? Yes. So they're usually multiple service organizations all together, but it is really one of the best ways to learn about Rotary is going to other clubs. Past Governor Bruce Falcons used to tell everyone that he has 1.2 million friends, he just hasn't met them all yet, and this is the way that you meet them. And I've met a lot of new friends over the last few days, and today this is my third meeting? I've lost count. Third meeting today, so I've made some new friends today already. So this is really a privilege for me to be able to explore the district, go through communities that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to go through. I've spent a little bit of time in Yakima, but I've never seen the Yakima Canyon, by the way. That was a beautiful drive. And really had some time to explore. So Eric, as you mentioned, he showed me around a little bit today, and I'll be back again next week to visit more clubs. So we'll be spending some more time here to explore. My husband couldn't come with me this week. He is a business owner, so he's a little busy. He came down on our first trip down south here, but he'll be back with me next week. And he already told me, he says, I can't listen to your speech 57 times. Don't make me do it. He says, I'm a supportive husband, but just don't make me do it. So, but what he does love is touring and exploring the communities. So he's decided he needs to bring his electric bike with him and just start riding around and really explore. And that's where his joy lies. So, like I said, having been in Rotary, I joined Rotary in 2001, and my mom is also a Rotarian in another district. So I really grew up around the world of Rotary. It's really in my blood. It's something that I was raised around. So I can understand the impact, and I thought I knew the impact of Rotary in our own community. And then you start traveling outside, and you go to a district conference, and you learn about the other clubs. And I'll shamelessly plug, I'll even put money in for the shameless plug, but I'll shamelessly plug the district conference a little bit later. And then you go to an international convention. Is there anyone in the room that's been to an international convention? Oh, quite a few of you, okay. Is anyone joining me in Singapore in May? I'll see you there. It's gonna be fun. So this is where you really learn about Rotary and the impact that Rotary has on the world and how Rotary works in different countries and different communities. So I really, again, encourage you to do that. But it starts with visiting other clubs in your own community. And I know from what I've learned of Yakima and the 3 Yakima clubs that the collaboration and the teamwork in this community is quite phenomenal. And the impact that you've had is clear everywhere. So why am I here? Well, it's the tradition, like I said, of the district governor to visit all of the clubs and tell you about the Rotary International president and the theme, and tell you about the goals that Rotary International has and the goals that the district has. And then it's my job to tell you that you need to grow your membership by 10 members net at the end of the year, and you need to donate $20,000 to the foundation, and then you need to host 6 exchange students, by the way, if you don't mind. And if you could start a new club before the end of the Rotary year, that would be great. Did I do that right, Hank? Is that right? Okay, yeah, good. So anyone that knows me, I'm not a typical governor. I'm just, John's laughing at me like, oh boy. But as much as I appreciate that and I can understand that, it's not something that I personally am comfortable with. So for me, in my opinion of the district governorship, my job is to tell you, not to tell you what to do or how to do it. My job is to provide you with the resources, let you know that we have resources for you. We're here to help you as part of the district leadership team. We have some really cool events coming up, and that's what I'm here to tell you about. And hopefully get you to some of those events. That would be even better. So that's why I'm here. I know this club does amazing things, and we want to help you grow that even more, and we want you to be recognized for that. My other job, though, and I did mention the Rotary International president and the theme, and I am going to talk about that, but I'm going to try and bring it down to the district and to the club level, and how can you as a club grow on that theme. So spoiler alert, the banner's right in front of me. Does anybody know who the Rotary International president is? Everybody's like, it's too small, I can't read it. Where's my glasses? Yes, Gord McAnally. So Gord McAnally is from the Rotary Club of South Queensferry. He's in Scotland. I'm really glad that my blazer is not like adorned. As much as I love the whole plaid thing, I don't know, it's tough. It's tough for me. Because Hank knows, like those blazers came out and they could be really odd colors, right? Yeah, it's not, yeah, you had one, I know. So Gordon joined Rotary. He was quite young when he joined. He was 26 years old. He joined in 1980, let me check my notes, 1984. And he had a dental practice in Edinburgh until he retired in 2016. And now he has the honor to be able to lead Rotary International as the president for this year. So he's been traveling the world with his wife, Heather, who is actually a professional opera singer. And we had the opportunity to listen to her perform in Florida when we were there for Govenor training, and it was quite phenomenal. He is a family man to the core. He adores his family, absolutely adores his 2 granddaughters, and if you follow him on social media, you'll see some occasional photos of his granddaughters, keeping him in line when he is back home visiting in between his breaks. So the annual theme for this year, spoiler alert, it's there. So the annual theme is Create Hope in the World. And every year, the Rotary International president gets to select the theme. And I actually asked him about this and what that process looks like. And it is actually the president that does it. It's not the board of directors. It is the president. He has some help because the theme has to be translated into multiple languages. So it can't be offensive in languages. But he picks the theme, or she picks the theme. And then the logo as well. So he's got a say in that logo. He has some help, obviously, with the colors and everything. But that's how that works. So the theme is Create Hope in the World. And the premise behind that is to promote peace, help those affected by conflict, and maintain momentum of initiatives begun by past leaders. So there's a lot to unpack there, but I have like 6.5 minutes. No, I don't have, I have a little bit more time, right? Yeah, okay. But I'm gonna kind of break it down at a district and a club level and what those goals look like. So for Gord, he wants to restore hope. And he says that we need to help the world heal from those destructive conflicts, and in turn, it'll help us to achieve lasting change for ourselves and for our communities. So how do we do that? Well, we start with one person at a time. And he tells the story. If you have not had a chance to go onto Rotary.org, am I blocking? There's like one beam. Hi, sorry. I just realized there's somebody right behind that beam and you can't see anything. Sorry. can I move around a little bit? Is that okay? Okay. I can't handle the podium thing. This is weird. I don't do podiums well. Okay. Between the flags? Oh, okay. I thought you meant like those two flags. I'm like, wow. Man. Okay. I digress. So he tells the story. If you go to Rotary.org, you can hear the story, and it's just a great, actually another resource for you. If you ever have a speaker that cancels at the very last minute, because that never happens at a Rotary meeting, right? But you can download Gord's speech when he released the theme in January in Florida. And he tells a wonderful, it's a heartwarming and a heartbreaking and heart-wrenching story all at once. And he really gives the background of the theme. And one of the stories that he tells about bringing hope one person at a time, he talks of a woman that he met just after the tsunami, the Boxing Day tsunami. And by the way, as a side note, this is actually the birthplace of ShelterBox as well. So there was a Rotarian from the UK that was also there to help with the relief efforts. And that's where the idea of ShelterBox was actually born. So a little side note for you. Anyways, he met this woman, and the woman had lost everything. And when I say everything, I really mean everything. So she lost her husband, she lost her 2 children, she lost her home, she lost her business, she lost everything. But she had a smile on her face. And so Gord saw her on the beach, and he went up to her, he approached her and said hello, and he says, I don't understand. He says, why are you smiling? And she says, well, Rotary is here. She saw the Rotary logo on the hats and on the shirts and on the sides of the cars on magnets. And she knew that there was hope because she knew that there was help coming. She knew that she could rebuild. So she had a gift for Gord, and she gave Gord a seashell. And she said, this is what represents hope to me. This is all I have, and I want you to have it because I know that in exchange, you're giving me hope. And if you go to the Rotary One Center in Evanston, Illinois, this is the world headquarters of Rotary International, and oh, that's really bright. If you go to the world headquarters, you go up to the top floor, and on the top floor of that building, you'll find the president's office. And on that desk is the seashell. And the logo from the theme is actually to symbolize the seashell that Gord was given. So it's quite a story. So he really talks about, and it's kind of that cliche where people say, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. It's very much the same thing, that you don't have to save the whole world, but you can help one person. And in turn, you're going to help a community. And in turn, you're going to help more communities. And we see that in Yakima over and over again with all of the projects that you've been building together. One of the other things Gord was talking about was promoting peace. And of course, this is something that Rotary has always lived by. It's kind of like a beauty pageant. I just want peace in the world, right? And I say that with all due respect, I really do. But every time I hear promote peace, I think, you know, the movie Miss Congeniality, and we all want world peace. But we do. And in a comment, he said, peace is the soil where hope takes root. And I really thought about that. And it comes back to the other goal of this theme, Create Hope in the World, about honoring past leaders and building on the success of past leaders. And when I thought about peace is the soil where hope takes root, it reminded me of past Governor Carl Ruther from last year. And Carl introduced the district project, the Pollinator Highway. So who was here when Carl showed up and he had his beautiful hat on? That was a good hat, right? Who tried it on? Don't lie. Nobody tried on the hat? Wow, okay. So his wife Denise made the hat, and it was a beautiful hat, right? It had all the, I mean, it was something. It's a hat, right? That was something. And I appreciated that, and I really liked the Pollinator Highway. And the reason I like the Pollinator Highway is because it's something that can engage every single club member in some way. So anybody can take a packet of wildflowers and toss them in a bare spot of your garden. Anybody can maybe talk to the schools, talk to your children, your grandchildren, a senior center. This is something that anybody can get engaged in, right? It doesn't have to cost a ton of money. And a lot of clubs got really excited by the pollinator garden. We had some communities that were building them alongside the bus shelters. I know in the Netherlands, actually, those Dutchies, I tell you, proud of those Dutchies. So if you go to the Netherlands, they have bus shelters with the pollinator gardens actually right on the roof of the shelters, which is very cool. So again, it's an opportunity to partner up. So I thought this pollinator garden thing was really good, and there was some incentive building. People were getting excited. There's still some clubs that are working on gardens to plant for the spring. So I really wanted to continue this on, and I thought, how am I going to help promote the pollinator gardens? Like, don't make me wear the hat, Carl. I can't do the hat. I don't look good in hats. So I found a solution, friends. Wait for it. All right. Friends, meet Archie. So Archie M. Clumpf is our Rotary District 5060 Garden Gnome mascot. And he's a little silly, and John's looking at him thinking there's been things added to him. Did you notice the bee hanging off of his hat there, John? Yeah. So this is Archie, and I decided this would be kind of a fun and silly way to help promote the pollinator gardens. And Archie has his own Facebook page. He has his own Instagram page. You can go search him out. And he's going to kind of follow along. He's been enjoying the travels. He posts some photos online, and he's been collecting pins, as you can see, and stickers. The bee that's hanging off of his hat was one of the clubs in my community in Kelowna. So a bunch of the members are actually crocheting these bumblebees, and they sell them at the hospital. In the hospital foundation shop, and they sell them as a fundraiser. So he's now got a little buddy. He has a girlfriend here. That was made by one of the members as well. So he's kind of collecting things along the way. He's been signed by Gord McAnally himself. So I had Gord sign him when we were at Pets in Seattle. He's also been signed by Drew Kessler, who is the Rotary International Director for our zone, which is all of Canada and the Eastern Seaboard. So I thought, this is great. Archie can go travel along. He's going to have some fun. We're going to raise some awareness. And it turns out he's helping raise some money, too. So I thought, great. We're going to auction him off at the end of the year, raise some money for the Rotary Foundation. So he's named Archie M. Clumpf after, somebody must know? Correct. So he's named after Arch Clumpf. And we have, the Rotary Foundation has the Arch Clumpf Society. So when you contribute $250,000, you too can be part of the Arch Clumpf Society. Right? We're this close, friends. We're this close, yeah. So I thought, this is kind of fun. And then it happened. So on June 30th, the day before the changeover, and we had our changeover event up in Kelowna, and would you believe it, but Archie was gnome-napped. He was kidnapped. He was, it's true. So I end up with a photograph on, somebody texts me a photo of Archie, and he's at a bar. True story. Check out the Facebook page, it's there. He was at a bar, he's upside down between two kegs of beer, he's double fisting a couple of steins, and you can clearly see past Governor Carl in the background laughing. Now I know that he was not responsible, but there was another past governor who was there. So the next morning I get to my club meeting, and lo and behold, there's Archie. And upon his return was a donation to the foundation in his name. And this continued on, because now these past governors, they need to challenge each other. So he's actually a multiple Paul Harris, and in a couple of weeks he's going to be presented with his first Paul Harris Fellow. So along the way, we're going to help raise some money for the Rotary Foundation. We're going to have a little bit of fun, hopefully put some smiles on some faces, and he's going to check out the pollinator gardens too. So that's Archie. I'm just going to set him there next to John. Oh, and he's air tagged, by the way, so I can find him back. Yes, we cemented his hat on with liquid cement because there's an air tag in there. I don't want to mention any names, but past Governor Richard Durock's wife, Robin, may have had something to do with that. The last focus for Create Hope in the World is a focus on mental health. And this is something really near and dear to Rotary International President Gord McAnally. And in his speech, he spoke of his family. And he has a brother who tragically took his life not many years ago. And this was why he really wants to focus on mental health. It's something that affects everyone in this room, whether it affects you personally or someone in your family, someone in your Rotary Club or in your community. Everyone is touched by mental health in one way or another. So Gord wants us to offer hope to those affected by mental health, and that Rotary should be known as an organization that takes care not only of its community, but of its own members. So what does that mean for you? Well, it means asking one question. It means asking, how are you? And then add one more word to that question and say, how are you really? How are you really? So when you think about some of the members, and this club is about 100 people strong, right? When you think about some of the members that maybe you haven't seen for a little while, or maybe even members that have left the club, past members, they're still friends of Rotary, I'm sure. Maybe reach out to them. Simple phone call, even a text message, an email. Offer a cup of coffee, maybe go for a walk. Offer a hug, a handshake, a fist pump, something. Because quite often people just want to know that they're seen, that they're valued in some way. We're all human, and we all need that contact, and we need to be valued. So starting with a simple, how are you, really? And go from there. From the club level, there's all kinds of speakers you could probably get engaged with. So having 3 really strong clubs in this community, maybe think about starting a speaker series with a mental health background. I'm sure there's experts in the room that can help you find those resources. There's lots of club projects out there. One of the clubs that I just visited a couple of days ago is doing a project with an organization that is making bracelets for suicide awareness. We have some clubs that are working with organizations that train therapy dogs. So there's all kinds of realms in mental health, even the pollinator gardens. My husband is an ex-RCMP member, and he spent about 10 years on the force, and that was about enough for him. It did a good number on him. But we have a vegetable garden that I take absolutely zero credit for, but that is his therapy. He loves that vegetable garden, and that's what he enjoys. So think about the kinds of things that you can weave into mental health. As far as the zone goes, so again, in all of Canada, Eastern Seaboard, there is a task force who's working very hard to build a toolbox for clubs so that if you don't know where to start, this will give you some ideas on different types of speakers you could reach out to, different projects, fundraisers, that sort of thing. So this can be super overwhelming. I get it. There's so much to do out there. But every club is different, and if I have learned nothing at all over the last 22 years, or if I've learned one thing, it's that every single club is different. And you're in such a unique position having a number of clubs in the same community that you can collaborate and work with. But throughout the 57 clubs, we have clubs that are 7 members strong, and I use that word strong because those members truly are strong. They are small but mighty. And we have, of course, the downtown Yakima Club that's like 672,000 people, right? No, 280, pardon me. 280, yes. I just like to tease John and Eric over here. And also doing phenomenal life-changing projects, right? But what I've been telling presidents-elect before the year started and even now is we don't expect clubs at a district level, we don't expect clubs to do everything all at once, because for me, I think that you're setting yourself up for failure. You can't do it all. I mean, if you want to, go for it. But what I've been proposing is pick 1 or 2 things or 3 or 4 things, do those really well, let us know about it, and then we're going to come and celebrate. We're going to have a party. We're going to enjoy this. Right? Eric's going to be the first in line. He's going to give me a call. I'm going to start the drive down here. It takes me about 6 hours, but I'll get here, right? And we're going to celebrate. So tell us about the amazing projects that you're doing. Use your social media. Use your personal social media and share what your club is doing. There's so many things we can do. We have our district newsletter, but we can't put content in there if we don't know about it. So if you're doing something really cool, let Eric know, and Eric's going to let the newsletter editor, who is Quinn over at the Yakima Club, she's doing an amazing job over there, but she needs the content. So if you've got something cool going on, let us know about it and let us celebrate those wins. It's great to challenge your club, and I'm not saying don't challenge, don't try something new. I'm not saying that at all. But I would rather celebrate all of those wins than stress about what you're not doing or what you can't do. So let's focus on the wins. We have a ton of resources for you. So the first one, of course, is the district website. So if you go to rotary5060.org, the website is there. It's an amazing website. A few years ago, the district invested in a public image and marketing campaign and built this new website. We've got landing pages for communities that have multiple clubs as well. So there's some really cool information on there. If you're looking for some branding information, you can go to rotary.org, but you can also go to the district site where it's simplified a little bit for you, and you can get that information there. I already mentioned the district newsletter. That comes out about once a month, so please read it. That would be good. We're trying really hard to send out less emails. Right? I was going to say, where's the round of applause for that one? We're trying really hard, really hard. There's so much information to get out there, but we still get people saying, well, how come I didn't know about that? I'm like, well, did you read the email? Just asking for a friend. Did you read the email? So we're trying to get as much information out as we can on that newsletter. So again, if you have something going on, if you have an event going on, if you have a project going on, let us know about it so we can get it in the newsletter. We do have the directory, which is available on the website. So the directory is put together by one person. Yeah, that's what I said. Wow. So we have a member up in Salmon Arm in BC. His name is Ron Hooper, and he's amazing. Yeah, he's amazing. And he's been building that directory for many years. And we used to print it off. Some of you may remember that we used to print off the directory. Problem with that is as soon as you print it off, it's outdated. So he's been updating it continually, and then he'll put a fresh update online about four times a year or so. That directory gives you all the information about all the clubs, so you'll know the president contact information, all of the board members of those clubs. You'll have all of the assistant governors on there as well, any district chair people, so if you're looking for help for membership, public image, foundation, any of those groups, Youth Exchange is another one is in there. All of that information is in there. So don't call me first, please. I probably won't answer the phone, to be honest. It's too many calls. Call Eric. Let me get you Eric's number here. It's like, great. Finally, there's social media. How many are on social media? To some degree. It's pretty good. Okay. So the district has their own Facebook page. We also have our own Instagram page. You can also think about liking the other clubs in the district, not just in the Yakima and surrounding area, but there's some clubs doing some really cool things. And I've heard about partnerships happening between clubs that have never ever worked together simply by finding things on social media. This is the way that you start networking. If you would rather meet people in person, it's like, what's that? What's in person? That's weird, right? We're finally starting to do some training online. So the Rotary Learning Institute is coming back to Ellensburg. Has anyone gone to the Rotary RLI? Oh, a few of you. That's pretty good. So the Rotary Learning Institute is a 2-day event. We hold it on a Saturday and Sunday. And we only let about 24 participants in there. And this is when you get to meet other Rotarians in the area. And you learn about the basics of Rotary, you learn about foundation, there's some leadership skills in there, a little bit of everything. So if you are a newer member, this is a great opportunity to get kind of a good round education about Rotary. If you are a legacy member, also a great spot for you, because this is a great way to get re-inspired and re-motivated and fired up again about Rotary. John, are you gonna go? That's okay. So that's coming up October 21st, 22nd. Did you have an event then? I can't remember. We hope not. So we have that coming up. And finally, friends, the district conference. Oh, who's been to a district conference? Awesome. Are you coming again? Yes, you need to come. Okay, so write this down. Look at all the pens coming out. Yeah, just fake it. Just pretend. Make it look like. Yeah, send a text to somebody, make me think that you're writing it down. It's fine. It's fine. I don't care. Just fake it. Make me feel good. Okay, so May 2nd to 5th, we're going to be in Penticton, British Columbia. So traditionally, the conference is held in the home city of the governor, but we're not going to do that because when have I ever done anything that you're supposed to do? Almost never. No. The reason we're holding this in Penticton, first of all, Kelowna is very, very expensive to hold a conference, and we felt that Penticton was a little bit more central. So not only for our American friends, but the Canadians as well. It's just a little more central. We're holding this at the Penticton Lakeside Resort. We did have a conference there a number of years ago. Gary Hollingshead was the district governor at the time. So we're going back to the Lakeside Resort. It's a beautiful conference center right on the lake, hence Lakeside. There's several hotels along that strip, so if you don't want to stay at the hotel, there's other options there. Bring your RV down. There's some camping available. We're going to be doing some really fun events. We're going to bring in some service projects. Of course, the youth exchange students are going to be there. That part's always fun. And home hosting. Okay, that was a little sad. So when I officiate weddings, and I always tell people at the end of the wedding that there's cocktails, and nobody says anything, and I'm always like, hello, cocktails. All right, home hosting. That was better. Okay, that was better. So come and see us up in Penticton. It sounds like there's possibly a bus going up from this area. We don't know. Oh boy, they're pointing at each other. Oh boy. So hopefully there'll be a bus coming up and then you don't have to worry about the drive, but it's a beautiful drive. Oh, what's that? We did, both ways. Yes. True. Well, we did have a bus come down from the Kamloops area and pick people up along the way. I don't even know if all of them were Rotarians. I think they might have picked up other people, like, where's the bus going? Let's go. I don't know. Yeah. So that's coming up as well. Once again, I just want to thank all of you for your service and for your dedication and your enthusiasm. I think this is a pretty stinking awesome club. I'm not going to lie. You guys are fun. Thank you again, and I encourage you and invite you to continue to create hope in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was great to hear all the great things that are going on across the world. Dirk is my little voice in my ear so far this year, and if you noticed, he came over and talked to me. He's like, Lynn, we forgot to do something. So Dirk's going to come up and help me out with a new member recognition.
Thanks, Lynn. All right. So I have the great honor to introduce to you our newest member, Jim Curtis, if you'd like to come up. Jim was born in Bremerton, Washington. He moved to Yakima County here in 1985. He is married to Christy Foster. He has 5 boys. He's worked as a paramedic in Yakima County for over 25 years. He was elected Yakima County Coroner in 2018. Is that right? Yep. And then still serving. His hobbies are fly fishing, CrossFit, that's where Jim and I really got to know each other, and then karate. So with that, Jim, I'd like to introduce you as our newest member to our club.
Jim's special, so.
All right, so we'll get you a blue binder. We don't have the blue binder right now. But hold on, I got your, that's your pin. This is the Rotary club. This is the directory for the 3 Rotary clubs in town. And I'm going to do a little trick just because we have some guests here. So it's got Downtown, Sunrise, and Southwest. For some reason, when we get the book, it's got Downtown up front. So the first thing that we do in our club right to Southwest, we take that one and put it in the back. So when you get your blue book, it's all ready to go. So there's your directory, and then here's your new member intro packet. So welcome. Lynn, I hope, if you don't mind, I have 2 more announcements. So Earlier, it was mentioned that if you have questions about Rotary 5060 or you just want to learn more about the district, I've got Eric Silver's phone number here for you. So if you want to write it down, it's 509-952-6540. And then also on everybody's tables, just because I'm a board member and we talked about this today, on everybody's tables are the automatic draft payments. So if you want to not have your name on an aging report, if you don't want to get phone calls from Taylor Stormo that your bills haven't been paid, just fill out this form on your table with your Visa card and it will just be deducted automatically. So yeah, if you can do that, it'd be a huge help for Christine and Taylor. Okay, that's all I have. Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you, Dirk. Thank you. I'm glad you were able to make it today. So thank you. Welcome. Okay, so with that, so I want to thank you again for coming and raising money today. We're going to have 4 shelter boxes because of your visit today. So thank you for coming. I want to thank Angie and Brittany for being our greeters and introduction, Tony for his invocation, and we still did do the raffle. We didn't do Sergeant at Arms, but we did that, and we did not have any extra guests today. So please remember, you make a difference. Meeting adjourned.